going to start by marinating our chicken breasts, and I use some chicken spice, I use some ground black pepper, and I also use some paprika. And you're going to you're going to spice your chicken breast on both sides, just a little bit of spice on both sides, to taste basically. And then once you have spiced your chicken breast, you're going to rub the spice in. Make sure you rub the spice in on both sides of the chicken breasts. Now we are going to cut our chicken breasts, and you want to cut all your chicken breasts into cubes. So what you're going to do is you want to cut your chicken breasts into nice bite-sized pieces as cubes before we actually start frying them. In a pan, you're going to add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and then we are going to start frying our chicken cubes. And you basically want to cook the chicken all the way through, and you also want to make sure that it's nicely seared on the outside. It has a nice crust to it. Then once your chicken is nicely cooked, you're going to start with your bacon. I basically have some bacon strips which I cut into cubes as well. I'm just lightly oiling my pan again so the bacon doesn't stick. And you want to also fry your bacon until it's nicely cooked and charred as well. Once the bacon is also cooked, then also set it aside. Then I put in a tablespoon of butter, and you can already see the pan has the nice rich oil from the chicken and the bacon, and I'm developing flavor with this before I actually start frying my mushrooms in this oil. So basically now I'm going to put in my mushrooms and I'm going to fry my mushrooms. Remember, to fry your mushrooms you need it to be at a high heat so that your mushrooms can get a nice sear on the outside. And also remember, do not add in any salt to the mushrooms before your mushrooms have actually got a nice sear to them. Now that my mushrooms are nice and golden brown, then I'm going to season them with some salt, which is aromat, basically just a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of black pepper. Then I'm going to stir that around, and my mushrooms are ready. The nice thing about this dish is that all the different components are done in one pan, so it's an easy cleanup. So now we're going to start sautéing my onions in a lightly oiled pan, and to that I'm going to add a little bit of diced carrots and just saute that together. Keep turning that until the onions become translucent and the carrots are al dente. Then add a teaspoon of cumin powder and just mix all of that together and allow it to cook together for just 30 seconds. To that, I'm going to add a handful of spinach. Then mix everything together and allow the spinach to just wilt in. Cook it for about a good minute. Once your spinach has wilted, it's time to add in your spice. I added in my 6-gun spice mix, which is basically an all-inclusive spice mix. Then once that is in, just mix it together, and it's basically now time to put all your components together. I put in my mushrooms, my bacon, and also my chicken. Everything is now cooked. Then you're just going to start mixing that together just so everything can incorporate well together. Now I'm going to start the next component of my Alfredo, which is a white sauce. I like making a white sauce instead of just putting in normal milk in my Alfredo. So to do the white sauce, I put in 2 tablespoons of butter over medium heat, and just allow your butter to melt completely. Then once your butter has been fully melted, you're going to put in 1 tablespoon of flour. I put in my flour using a teaspoon so that I can add it in gradually and just mix. Then once your roux is done and it has no lumps, I'm going to add in a cup of milk. I add in half a cup at a time, and then make sure that you mix everything well so that your white sauce does not have any lumps. You better use that arm muscle. Then once your white sauce has come together, it's time to season it. I add 1 teaspoon of aromat, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and a teaspoon of sweet sage. Then you're going to mix that together and then allow your white sauce to come to somewhat of a boil and allow it to just start thickening a little bit before we put it into our other mix. Then we are going to add half a stock cube with half a cup of water into our mix. I just dissolve the stock cube in the water and then put it in, and then I also add a 1/4 cup of fresh cream, and we're also now going to add in our white sauce that we just made. So then just mix everything together, allow everything to combine, and just allow that to simmer together for a good 2 minutes before we add in our pasta. Then we are going to add in our cooked pasta. I use penne pasta, and you're going to put it into your Alfredo mix and mix everything together, and then you're going to close your pot and allow the pasta and the Alfredo mix to cook together for a further 5 minutes. And once that 5 minutes is over, your Alfredo is ready to be served and enjoyed by your loved ones. Enjoy!